Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'm gonna be working some more on my backgrounds and different assets for my animation. I'm also gonna be going over some stuff that happened the last few days and some things I learned and grew to understand. So, to begin, for a quick reminder, I've already finished some background asset. Eh, tongue tongue to tongue tied. You see, I haven't been streaming in a while because I'm easily getting my words mixed up and confused. Anyway, I finished these assets earlier. I finished the background as well as where is it? I finished the background as well as these buildings right here. I have also started working on some of these different buildings. I did a few rough sketches, and now I just need to finish the final line art and get this posted. So things are going quite well for me. The reason why I didn't have my stream Tuesday is because I was attending this event called ECGC, the East Coast Gaming Conference. It happens every year around April in the Raleigh Convention Center down in downtown Raleigh, where I live. Well, I live in Northeast Raleigh, but you get what I'm saying. It's where different programmers, animators, 3D animators, designers, people and the like, they all come and it's a networking event where you see different colleges, different indie companies, indie developers. They have different speakers that come in that give advice and have their own panels. And so that is what I attended, and I met some very interesting and nice people. I also discovered some new projects that were coming about. Like there were some games I played. I used VR for the first time, which was really fun. And just all in all, it was a nice and eye-opening experience. I also got some industry level critique on my I also got some industry level critique on my portfolio, which was very helpful. And just all in all, I also saw other people's works and projects, and that helped me realize that, I am not alone and that everyone is having difficulties or doesn't have things together. So I shouldn't be upset at the state I'm in right now, which was very eye opening. I've always tried to pride myself on being a jack of all trades. And while there are, in fact, some advantages that come with knowing how to do a little bit of everything, what I really need to focus on and what I really need to do is just finding my niche or really hammering home what I want to do and sort of catering my portfolio for that. It happened during the critique that I had, I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, where a generalist, I think he was a 3D animator and he was like a character animator. And I had like a bunch, and we sat in this sort of like round table room with a TV, and hooked up to the TV was a computer. I had went to my ArtStation account, and one of the first things I was told was that my portfolio was just really scattered all over the place. He asked me what I wanted to do. I said, well, first and foremost, I want to be a 2D animator with some character design on the side. And so I was told that I have like a lot of different projects and a lot of different things, which is okay because it shows that I'm passionate, but I can't be too general. And so that's really what I learned, and that's really what was hammered home. So moving forward for my channel, I do in fact want to zero in more on the animation aspect and work more on my animations as a whole. I really want to post more animations, have more animation exercises, do some more full length things with color and maybe some more effects. I definitely need now to get my teaser trailer up and posted and that finished. That's why I'm sort of zeroing in on these background assets that I'm working on. And just that is the big sort of focal thing that I want to do, focus on, work on is my, and that's sort of the big thing I want to focus on, which is my animation. Like that's really the main thing I want to do. And I guess the thing that I'm grappling with is because I'm doing this on my own. Like you guys know, you guys have been with me for the begin from the beginning. At least some of you guys. You guys know that I'm all on my own. Like everything I do, like the animation, the coloring, the cleanup, the uh, the storyboarding, the editing, video and audio. I do not have a team. I do not have the capital for a team. Everything I'm doing is because I'm doing it on my own. Like I'm a one man army, I'm a one man show. So I very much have to know how to do most, if not all of this by myself because I just can't work with people or I don't have the resources to work with people. Which, hopefully one day in the future, I will have the resources to work with people. But for now, because I can't, I have to do everything on my own. And despite it giving me experience, despite me growing in my skills, and who knows, maybe one day I will be able to leverage the fact that I have all these different skills, but for right now, I should be focusing on what I need slash want to do, which is animation. I really want to focus on that. I want to get my in betweening up. I want to get more polished animations and projects that are in that field of 2D. I also want to go to more animation events that have like 2D animators and different studios because I feel as though that is my big struggle in which I can't really find, you know, studios. Like most of the places where I'm going, I see game designers, but I don't really see 2D animators. And the keynote speakers were very interesting because despite ECGC being a game design event, as an artist and as a creative in general, I try to learn and I try to get input and information from multiple different avenues. One of my core beliefs is that it doesn't matter if some type of event or some type of showcase is catered towards one group or one specific thing. Even you with your niches can still learn something from that group, from that exercise. And even then, when I told people, like, oh, I'm a 2D animator, they still welcomed me. Like, that's one of the beautiful things about artists and about the art community is that they are quick to accept and be okay with anyone. Like I saw writers there, I saw graphic designers there, I saw like background artists and concept artists. Like everyone was there. Pretty much everyone was there, and everyone was talking to each other and just going to different booths and seeing different projects being done. And I asked questions. I said, "Oh, how is this project? What are you doing?" Like, and it was just general conversation. And then once I was done, I asked them like, "Hey, do you have a business card?" They gave me their business card, and then in turn I gave them one of my own. And afterwards, like, I started networking and connecting with people on LinkedIn, and honestly, it's just a beautiful experience to just network. That's really why I wanted to get my networking for the introvert video out there, because I wanted to help people who I wanted to help people who were in fact introverts or generally introverted people network, because I had difficulty starting off, and I almost felt like 2 3 years ago when I first went to ECGC, I felt imposter syndrome. But now, like, I was networking out the wazoo. I got like a small pile of business cards of different people I've met, and I've even joined like I think I joined like 3 Discord servers now. But like, there's this voice acting studio. It's called Marvelous Spiral Studios. They offer voice services, and they pride on like Hollywood level voice acting, though it's more affordable. I think they said that they were based out of, it was either like Durham or Cary, I think. I saw there was one person, they were selling like stickers, and I got one of their business cards. I got Insomniac Games business card. I saw project managers, indie developers. There was one guy who was a sound designer and composer. Um, yeah, just a lot of people I met and interacted with. There was even like, uh, I think they were called like Black Point BR, where they're working on a battle royale, and it focuses on realism with like army. It's a military foundation, or it's like a military corporation where they're designing a battle royale game that is inspired by like real war and like the realism of military combat. I met a professional project manager, and it was just a nice experience. So like, if you're an artist or if you're anyone, you don't even have to specifically be an artist or a programmer. Just go to your local event, and you will learn something, you will get advice, you will meet people. Like, I think that's one of the major things, is just forging connections and networking, and actually talking and getting to know these people, because just like how they have something to offer, you may have something to offer too, you just don't know it yet. And like, that is what these places are here for, helping people, helping each other, people getting inspired by each other, getting promoted by each other. It's a very, beautiful experience. I do still have a few business cards left, so I think when I go back to work, when I go back to retail, yes, I'm still in retail, I definitely plan on like giving out my business cards and just seeing what comes from that. I might go to a few more events in the future, but until I have to save up some paid time off for that. But until then, definitely I'm going to be working more on my animations and yeah, just trying to help myself grow. You know, I keep forgetting when I draw that it's actually very easier to draw straight lines when I zoom out. I gotta stop forgetting that. And you know, here's another thing that I actually learned or figured out is like literally yesterday I learned what photo bashing is. Literally yesterday I learned that like many concept artists and like many different concept artists and character artists they will take like and they will take and like Photoshop and mishmash different aspects of other live photos and like blend them and mix it with digital painting. And so that really, I want to say, it didn't warp my mind because that would be too mean of a statement. But what I'm trying to say is it enlightened me and it really opened my mind. Yes, enlightened is a better term. It really enlightened and opened my mind because for the longest time I was looking at these different like pieces of concept art and these beautiful graphics and digital paintings and I'm like, dang, like these guys are really good at blending. These people are really good at like mastering their brush and this must have taken them a long time. And you know, yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure that there are artists who like just draw and texture like raw. But what I'm trying to say is like that was the first time I actually saw like you know, maybe all these artists that I'm looking at were photo bashing or like not fully photo bashing, but they were using some photo bashing tips and aspects with their general painting. And so that actually made me feel better because, again, it goes back to my art envy video where, I kind of had like, mm, I kind of had like envy towards other artists. And I'm like, when are my skills going to blossom and grow like this person? But it's like that was really eye opening for me is that yes, we're all artists and yes, we all take our time, but in that same vein, as artists, we've learned different, cheats and ways to quickly produce, and we figured out ways to quickly produce our art, which is beautiful, and it's even more eye opening to me because now I can sort of take it easy. I don't have to be so hard on myself and so angry. I can say, you know what? I am okay. I can take my time, and who knows, perhaps I can even learn from these concepts as well. Like I have I may try my hand at photo bashing one day. Like one day I might try. And my first photo bashing attempt is gonna be trash, I know. But who really does know? It may be good, it may be bad. I'll definitely put photo bashing in the tags of my art. But then again, I do in fact just need to focus on my animation because that's what I want to do. That's what I've decided to do. So, and then again, I don't have to compare my animations to photo bashed content or to digital paintings, because that was one of the other big issues I had is that I would see like digital painters and I would see concept artists, and I'm like, dang, how come my animations can't be as detailed as that? When in reality, it's like, dude, you're a 2D animator. You shouldn't be worried about having the quality of a painter. Like, that's a painting. Those are two different mediums. And honestly, I could make a whole nother video about comparing your art and comparing your art across mediums or across formats and styles, because that is another issue I see in just another concept or another mentality that should be addressed, is that sometimes you just have to know that, you know, you're an animator. Don't try to make your animations look like a painting, or you're a concept artist. Don't try to make your concept art look like illustrations. Like though like these are different classes. These are different spheres in the art industry. So like you don't have to be obsessed with it. You don't have to be that scrutinous with yourself. Because another thing I sort of learned is that, you know, and another thing I learned is that they do not look for fan art. Like that is a big thing, is that many different developers and people who are in charge of the hiring process, they do not look for fan artists. It's okay if you have like maybe one or two pieces of fan art, but like stuff like that is mainly for Instagram. And I could go on a whole another tangent about Instagram versus professional portfolios. Like there are some pieces and some works of art that are good for Instagram or good for social media in general. And then there are other pieces of art that, you may not want to post it to your portfolio if you're looking for it. That was strange. My Photoshop just did like a strange screen thing. Well, what was I saying? Oh yes, there are some pieces of art that you may want to work on for social media, and then there are other pieces of art that you may want to use for your professional portfolio for a job. And I just dropped a whole bunch of my freaking business cards that I have on my desk, like right next to me. I actually need to clean up my desk. Like, you know what? After this stream, like at like 12 o'clock or 12:30 or something, I'm just going to spend some time cleaning off my desk. Like, my desk isn't that dirty, but I do need to clean it off. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, another thing I learned is that you really want to hone your style. And so, oh yes, I was talking about fan art, and then I went on like a whole other tangent about Instagram versus portfolio. Um, Dang. Now my brain stopped working. It was shoot, what was I talking about? I was talking about portfolios. I was talking about Instagram versus actual portfolio pieces. Oh yes, now I remember. If you are applying for a job, developers and studios don't really care for your fan art. They want to see original pieces. They want to see your original ideas. That is what speaks to them the most. So like you can draw like a custom skin or a custom like variation of a superhero, but like for the most part, but leave that to a minimum. If you may only want like one or two pieces that are that like doing alterations to characters, but for the most part, what studios and developers are looking for are your completely original IPs, your completely original intellectual properties. So, like, they want to see you draw a witch, or they want to see you make a mad scientist. They want to see, like, how you draw the characters that appear in your mind. And so that's definitely what I want to do. And that's definitely a thing that I can do and I can sort of, focus on is because I'm working on a show right now, I can take advantage of that and draw like character sheets and concept art of my different characters, like have a nice graphic that shows the character in full. Then I may want to show them in different poses and different scenes of them, like showing different emotions. So for Ayo, I might want to have him like holding a ball of energy, or like, smiling and being a little flirtatious and, evil looking. Or I might want to draw Trina as she's working with some chemicals and she's like sitting on maybe like a cloud or like a pillow of like a chemical foam that she has created. I may want to draw like these characters that in different poses and different placements that show their personality. Like that's really what they look for. Like drawing characters in at different angles, like a back, like drawing their back or drawing both sides of them. That is good, but they also want to see like different expressions that the character may have. Because I'm gonna be honest, like and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, my expressions, I have a hard time drawing expressions, so that's definitely something that I would like to work on, and definitely something I need to work on. I may be in retail a bit longer than I first thought, but at least now I definitely don't feel as bad. But I am going to be zeroing in and focusing on what I really want to do, which is, like I said again, animation and my character design. Like, yes, I do need to know how to edit. I do need to know how to do different stuff like that. Like, I need to know how to edit. I need to know how to draw backgrounds. I need to know how to edit my audio as well and composite. But shoot, I'm focusing on animation. I'm focusing on animation, and everything else is sort of supplemental to the main thing, which is working on animations and working on my animation channel. I'm still gonna. I'm not. Listen, y'all. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I'm not shutting down this channel. I'm not gonna stop my live streams. None of that. I'm just. This is just to sort of prove to myself and to prove to others that it's time I cut down to business. It's time I got down to business and really started working on my stuff and working on working on what needs to be done. And you know what? I may need to change the name of this live. No, it's fine. The name of the live stream is good. It's good. It's good. I just started and I'm here now. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. And I've even started looking at different animation tutorials online and looking at different stuff. Like there's this one guy, shoot, he's a big like animator, and he's also good at like making different. Like there's this one YouTuber I look at. He's good at making different tutorials and stuff like that. And sadly, I don't know the name off the top of my head. I have mentioned him in previous streams. Shoot, now I feel bad. You know what? I'm literally scrolling through YouTube right now trying to find him. Uh, yes, his name is Taniko Pantoya. So like, and he has this like dog, and he has like this dog mascot, and he also has like this cute intro for his videos and stuff like that. And he's a 2D animator, which is really good because that's sort of my focus, which is 2D animation. So that's actually, yeah, he's an amazing artist. He's an amazing animator. And yeah, just wanted to sort of put that guy on blast. I might. I don't know what I might do. I'm just saying, like, hey, look at this guy. He's amazing. He's taught me so much. That dude doesn't even know me, but like, I just want to say he's taught me a lot. And that's really what I'm thankful for is just these small moments where I meet people and they've impacted me and they've helped me and they don't even know I've watched their videos. Like they don't even know me personally. But like I just like to say like, hey, this person showed me XYZ. I saw this and that from them. I've learned so much from this person and they don't even know who I am. I'm just happy that I came across their videos. Just doing some cleanup, making sure that this looks all nice and good and pretty. So I just wanted to quickly ask, how is everyone? How are things going? I hope you all are enjoying the stream. I sort of just went quiet a little bit. I hope that wasn't too strange or out of the ordinary. Just, sometimes when I'm working on a project, I sort of hyper focus and I go quiet when I'm really concentrated and working on something. Let me just clean this up right here. And now I'm going to do that. I'm almost done with this building. I think I'm just gonna like cut it off uh, about right here because it is gonna be composited to where it just slowly rises. So I can take a few, what's the proper word? Creative liberties with this. I don't need to draw the full object, especially since people won't be seeing the full object. And then on top of that, I do plan on doing some compositing to where it looks sort of blurry. The layer that this is on is going to look blurry. So I don't really need to add too much. I do think that later I may look through some different animated TV shows and yes, maybe some anime as well, where I look at different buildings and how they draw their environments, just so I can draw inspiration on proper shading techniques and other things that I can do, because that's really what I think I need to work on, which is how I approach the way I draw buildings, especially since my show and project is going to be very much centered on drawing different buildings and sort of um, synthetic or human constructs, is what I'm trying to say. So it would be very useful if I just learned how to do that. Hmm. Let's see. I actually need to think about this for a minute. Um, so I think this building right here and that building right there are going to be on the same layer. And then to finish it off, this building right here and that building right there are going to be on the next layer. Because what I'm trying to do now is not add too many unneeded elements. I'm trying to sort of downsize so that I don't overwhelm myself or try to do too much with certain things. It is 11:10. I've been streaming for 1 hour. How is everyone? How are things going? What is going on with you all? How's your day been? Just sit and enjoy. Let's enjoy some time here together. New layer. Time for the next layer. Oh yes. Another thing. While I've also been working on these assets, I've also been working on I've also been working on like some new and different animations. Like I've been trying to work on my visual effects and how I animate like magic and water and fire and different things like that. So that's really been one thing that has had my interest. So I've been working on like some different animation exercises and short little blurbs of animation. And I'm almost done with like Arcanemy. And so in the Witches 13 world, magic is sort of separated into different schools, not really based on the function of the magic, but rather how people perceive magic. So in Witches 13, Arcanemy is the use of different formulas, different sort of magical processes, and using different geometries, math, science, different characters and glyphs to sort of do magic and process magic that way. So the usage of magic circles, characters, glyphs, runes, that falls under Arcanemy. And then you have more sort of emotional, sort of, I want to say, environmentalist forms of magic where people are attuned to the energies of their environment. So they're drawing on plants or natural fire, water, things like that. And they sort of use that element as a medium. So one of the things I want to veer away from in this show is like, oh, everyone can only use one type of magic. So that's not how magic works in this world. Like if you use water as a focus, you can still cast a fireball. If you use fire as a focus, you can still heal people. So that's not really what this show is about. It's like when magic is introduced, anyone can use any type of magic. It's just their focus or how they perceive that magic is different. You have people in the church, like you have different, like you have clerics, priests, ministers. They use faith, and sort of their focus for that is light, or their focus for that is like no focus. Like they just, like they may pray, and they just perform a miracle or perform a feat of magic. So that's also a very special thing that is in this world, faith in general. And there's also something I added, which is sort of like this spiritual enlightenment, where if you're like a pastor or a minister or you're a religious person, you go through like different steps of spiritual enlightenment. And as you go through those different steps, a strange phenomenon occurs in people where they will sprout wings. And so the further you are on your journey, the more wings you sprout, and you may have a halo on your back. Or it's sort of like this ring of glowing golden or white light. It appears like a glowing tattoo on your back. And then as you go up in different spiritual awakenings or enlightenments, you sprout wings. Like you may sprout one pair of wings, then two, then three, then sometimes four or five. It, it's different per person. But yeah, that's also a thing. And so it comes from like this perception of magic. Like magic in Witch 13 has different effects on people. And I will say, even though I don't want to get too into it, summoning is also a thing. Like true angels and demons and even fae are also a thing in this world, though that's going to be explored and expounded upon much later because they sort of have their own processes, and I still need to do some world building and working on it. So essentially, how it functions is that magic has always existed, though at a diminished capacity barely barely existent. Like it was always just the edges or just the tips of magic, like mythical creatures, demons, like deal makers. It was always hidden. And as technology advanced, the the different magical creatures that people believed existed, humans sort of just forgot about them or didn't even think they were real. And it was only until after the Cascade, when magic wholesale returned en masse to the world, is when people finally understood like, hey, angels are real. Demons are real. Like unicorns, griffins, they're all real. We just closed our eyes to it, or we just thought it was just happenstance or whatever it may be. And you now also have instances where magical creatures are more prominent and more and they show up more. So it's like unicorns exist and regular horses or regular wild horses that were caught in the Cascade. Now there's a chance that they may sprout like wings and become pegasi, or they may grow horns and they might be considered unicorns or Kirin. Like there are different. These are all things that I still need to write about and sort of brainstorm and work with, but mythical creatures on top of like fantasy races exist now, and that is mainly due to the product of magic being reintroduced. Just doing some cleanup. I know, this is boring or I'm not saying much. Going back to ECGC, I do think that it helped me, especially it was a nice break from work. It was a nice break from my job, and it helped me sort of reestablish and just get back into my proper headspace because this may sound extreme, but working in retail and working with difficult people certainly takes a lot out of you. Like this may sound extreme to say, but like it saps you of your energy. It just saps you of your life, and it was nice to go to an event with people like me. It was nice to be back in a familiar headspace, a familiar sort of environment where I was with people who were just as passionate as me, who were on their own artistic journeys and their own journeys through the art space, trying to get a name for themselves, trying to get clout, trying to network, showing people their passion. That was certainly beautiful and enjoyable. It was nice seeing people with experience. It was nice getting feedback and learning, even if they weren't directly talking to me, but just being in the same presence, just being in the same atmosphere and environment as those people and passively hearing and listening to them, being motivated, being driven to push further and to keep going despite not knowing what could happen. It felt really good and it also felt really welcoming. And I certainly have some work to do. I have to clean up my art station. I have to organize some of my videos on YouTube. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I did make a podcast playlist. So like there's a new podcast of like my Witch 13 development where I go over like it basically has all my streams related to the show and like different authors notes and different things I've talked about like world building. I go over the cascade. I go over different characters, certain characters. I talk like I am now and just going over stuff which is really good. So after I finish this stream, what I'm definitely gonna do is zero in and focus more on my animations. Sadly, I may have to delete some projects from my art station because I can't just treat that as a dumping ground for all of my projects. I really need to zero in and focus on animation as the focus. So I'll be picking and choosing some of my best animations that I've done and worked on and post them there. I do want to capture certain scenes from. Uh, I do want to capture certain scenes from my teaser trailer, like some work in progress scenes, export those and post those to my art station as well. Looks like I have a busy couple days ahead of me. But I'm passionate. I still have my dreams, so I can't give up quite yet. Because that's really what helped me and what really kept me pushing is like, because when I showed my work to people, everyone said like you're passionate, like you're very passionate, and you have the willingness to learn. You just need to focus. You just need to focus and specialize, or like you need to forge your style. Like that. That's really what people said to me a lot when I was there, especially when I did the critique. Is like you're passionate. You have all these projects, and you have all these different things you're working on. Like you just need to focus on learning, and you just need to focus on, developing your skill. And that's really what is pushing me and what's keeping me going right now is like just being noticed and just people seeing having people who see that, people who see my passion and people who see my love for the craft. That is what is really keeping me going. I have two more buildings to draw. I have this one right here in the corner. Then I have this one in the foreground. File. Uh, Wait, did I save it already? Let me save, edit, purge all. Once in a while, you have to purge your history. That gets rid of all of the different like pre-save states when you do Control Z or undo. It clears out all those previous save states, so then it saves on memory and it also boosts the running power of Photoshop. Because right now, I have Photoshop open, I have Adobe Anime open, which I should probably close, but hey, the stream has already started, and then I also have my stream open, so like there's a lot of processing power going into my computer right now. So, actually, yeah, let me close Adobe Animate real quick. I was working on an animation before this, so I'm gonna save this and then I'm gonna close this out. Just to sort of help my computer, just so there's not too much going on. Okay, last building. Then I can work on these floating islands in the background. That honestly, that's really my favorite aspect and my favorite part of the world. It's just, it's like that's one of my favorite things about the world I created is there are combinations and there are aspects of realism inside of the fantasy aspects. So, like, you have floating islands with buildings on top of them, or like floating buildings by themselves. You have this, you have these molten crags with factory cities. You have different forests where inside trees are buildings and people living their lives, or giant tree houses. It's like I, I like that I've meshed science with fantasy, magic with technology, because that's really what I wanted to express and what I wanted to show is the blending and the mixing of these sometimes contrary aspects into things that are wholly unique. It captures that sense of hope. It captures that sense of, you know, innovation, creativity, a beautiful world is not 100, 200, 300 years in the future. It can be achieved tomorrow. We can have this world, this ideal world tomorrow. It adds a sense of just again hope and potential, something that we can reach, something that we can achieve in our lifetime. And that is something that I would like to express through my art and through these different projects that I've been creating and working on. Now, I do want to do a rough sketch of the different floating islands just so I have a concept of what they're going to look like and how they're going to sort of function. It's definitely going to be, on a smaller scale than what I had in the previous scene where I had all those different floating buildings and islands. I want to downsize this and pretty much just make up for whatever white space is existing. So there's going to be, so while these two right here are going to be the major islands and sort of like supporting structures, I do in fact want to line maybe this area right here with some smaller buildings and maybe have like some things over here, like maybe two or three small free floating buildings over there, just to add some more ambiance because this right here is a blank space. So I do feel as if I had something up here that would sort of just make it feel and appear as though more is going on. So let me first change the opacity to a nice, let's do 12. Uh, 9 is good. Let me add a new layer. So these are just some rough sketches, but I do kind of like how I do like sort of the scratchy texture from the sketched portions. So what I want to try to do in future product So what I want to try to do in future projects is maybe incorporate some scratched marks to my lines because that does in fact at least give a slight hint of texture to it. Now, time for some buildings. Let's see here. What will look nice? I think that's pretty good. Like, this will be good for the first two scenes of my animation. And then I can just like reuse some assets, but for the most part, the line art is fairly done. I just need to, well, actually, no, the line art's not done. The line art for the foreground buildings are done. Then I just need to do these floating islands back here. Then I just need to color, do some shading, and I will be done. And I can implement the different background elements. This has been a nice, fun experience. I've definitely grown and evolved. I've definitely gotten better at my animation. I do think I'm gonna call the stream here and sort of take a break for a little while, but come back to some stuff. I'll likely draw some line art of this or work on a different animation and sort of hone my skills. In conclusion, just to say that ECGC, it's definitely a fun event. It happens every year, April 18th to April 20th. It was a nice experience. I met so many people. I networked. I learned a lot about my art, not only through direct critique, but also through looking at others' art. And I and it's just redefined my motivation and my passion. And it reminded me of why I chose animation and why I chose art as a career path. And it's keeping me moving forward, it's keeping me going. Anyway, just a reminder, I stream Tuesdays and I stream Tuesdays and Fridays. On Tuesdays, it's usually from like 10 to 11, maybe 11:30. On Fridays, I like to have longer streams, so I start at 10 and I usually go for maybe 2.5 hours. Usually, however I'm feeling that day. Road to let's say road to 500. After 500 subscribers, I'll do like an extra long, maybe 4 hour stream where I talk to you guys. If I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a Q&A and you guys can ask me questions, or I'll likely make a community post where you guys can leave your questions for me and I'll do that. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. I also have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee in the description below, as well as a Fiverr account in case you want me to do any graphic design or work on an animation for you or do some editing. Anything you want from me, just know that that's there. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, and I'll see you corner creeps in my next video or stream. Bye.